Hello and welcome to Cracking the Code on Repeat Purchases, how top brands build retention that lasts. My name is Adina Marabi and I'm the Director of Partner Relations here at Okendo. A quick intro on Okendo. We are a customer marketing platform that helps brands maximize the value of their customers through our connected suite of 5 products: quizzes, reviews, loyalty referrals, and surveys built exclusively for Shopify. Today, we work with over 17,000 of the fastest growing brands on Shopify. A couple that you might recognize: Skims, Ilia, Rhode, and Love Wellness. And today I'm joined by some amazing other speakers. We have Summer Dowd, VP of Product Marketing at Attentive. We've got Lexi Stanford, Product Marketing at Order Groove, Karina Shaheen, Partner Manager at Customer, and Ray Chow, Head of Marketing at Nostra. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items for today's webinar. Please enter all questions in the chat throughout the webinar. And if we have enough time at the end, we'll do a quick Q&A session. And you will receive a recording of today's webinar within 24 hours of the session. So I'm going to actually have the speakers do a quick round of intros, and I'll pass it to you first, Summer.
Thank you, Dina. So, hey, y'all, I'm Summer Dowd. I'm based in Austin, Texas. I think I saw a couple Austinites in the chat. I lead product marketing here at Attentive. And before this, I've been on the other side of the house working at Walmart on retail. So been there with you. And if you're not familiar with Attentive, we're an AI-powered mobile marketing platform working with over 8,000 brands to drive growth and retention through SMS, push, and email. Yes, we do have email now. What makes us different, though, is how we bring identity-powered personalization and true omni-channel orchestration across every message. And those one-to-one messages really turn one-time buyers into loyal fans. I'll kick it over to Lexi.
Thanks, Summer. Hi, everyone. My name is Lexi. I'm a product marketer at Order Groove. I'm also based in Austin, so everyone from there, hi. We power subscriptions for the world's largest and fastest growing enterprise brands. Some of our customers are like Daily Harvest, BarkBox, and I actually started on the CS side of the team here at Order Groove as a subscription strategist. So worked with brands like Death Wish Coffee, Tata Harper. Now I get to bring that customer voice to the product side to make sure we're building those solutions that truly serve our brands like you all. So super excited to be here with such a great group, and I'm going to pass it off to Karina.
Thank you, Lexi. Hello, everyone. My name is Karina. I'm calling in from sunny South Lake Tahoe, California. I'm up in the mountains right now, you guys. But very excited to be here today with all of the rest of my favorite people on this panel. I lead our technology partnerships over at Customer. And for those who aren't familiar with Customer, we are an AI native customer service platform really designed to revolutionize how businesses deliver customer experiences. So this topic is going to be very excited for us to chat a little bit more about, and I'm excited to get into it. And I'll pass it over to Ray.
Oh, Ray, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Hey, everyone. I'm Ray from New York. I'm the head of marketing at Nostra. Previously been on the brand side my whole career and just moved into the software just because, I firmly believe in Nostra. If you didn't know what Nostra was, we are basically a site speed software. We basically intelligently cache your dynamic elements. So we make your product pages, your cart show up faster. And typically when we increase the site speed of your site, we typically see like a 20%, up to 20% lift in conversion rate.
Cool. Thank you guys all for your intros. We'll go ahead and kick started off with the first question of the webinar. What are some of the biggest challenges you see D2C brands facing when it comes to driving repeat purchases today? And Lexi, we'll start off with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Adina. That is a great question. Obviously, in this macroeconomic climate currently, attaining and then retaining that share of wallet is just getting harder and harder with fewer consumer dollars in pockets, higher cost of living. We've all felt it. And like general rising competition, the market's so saturated. So customers are really limiting and just being super selective with how many brands they're spending their money with. So brands can't afford to have any sort of friction in their consumer journey at all if they want customers to return to them. So brands need to find a way to make that purchasing experience completely seamless, incredibly flexible, and very personalized while still maintaining and building for that long-term scale. And that's a lot to balance.
Thank you, Lexi. Ray, what about you?
Yeah, just to echo on being personalized and building that kind of experience. Experience is what matters the most in retention, right? Customers aren't going to come back if they have poor experiences on your site, where it be as slow website, poor shipping. You're lying to your customers, offering like a 2-day shipping when it comes a week later. You have to build that kind of trust, that loyalty. And with that being said, like customers will stay on your marketing email file. They'll come back on their own, and naturally you'll have that prolonged retention rate and that LTV.
Karina, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think fragmented customer experiences are obviously a major hurdle. Shoppers are bouncing between different channels as well. So Instagram ads, email, mobile apps, marketplaces. I'm doing it literally all of the time. And I think a lot of brands are struggling to provide consistent and seamless interactions. Additionally, there's been a lot of over reliance on paid acquisition, which means retention's often taking a backseat, which retention is so important right now. Lots of lack of actionable insights from customer behaviors across these channels make it a lot harder to personalize those follow-ups. And then just in general, too, operational silos between marketing and CX and logistics, and that leads to just missed re-engagement and missed opportunities.
Thank you. Summer.
Yeah, so I mean, we know that everybody wants to deliver a personalized experience, and ultimately they're kind of held back by a couple big challenges. One just being resources, and it takes a lot of manpower if you don't have the right system to deliver personalized experience. So they're sending batch and blast messaging that's just not resonating. And then lack of real-time identity and data. And so a lot of brands just can't recognize shoppers after the first purchase. So some of our customers, like Represent Clothing brand, used our identity solution and automation and tools to drive over 40% increase in revenue from triggered messages that were really personalized and drove a strong ROI with a pretty lean team.
Absolutely. I think what we're seeing here at Okendo, and one of the biggest challenges that brands are facing is the need to consider the second purchase before the first purchase even occurs. In other words, how can a customer's first experience with a brand be leveraged as an opportunity to start building a relationship with a customer? How can they guide shoppers through the process of pre and post purchase to avoid the first conversion winding up feeling like just a one-time transaction? So really about creating that consistent customer experience as well. Cool. How can brands better use first-party data to deliver personalized post-purchase experiences that fuel retention? And Ray, this time we'll kick it off with you first.
Yeah, a lot of it always comes down to like personalization, right? You have all this data. How do we utilize it, and how do we give them experiences that are unique to them to make that second purchase, third purchase, fourth purchase, right? You can't, to echo Summer's point, we can't just keep sending random emails to random people. People will churn, people will unsubscribe, and they're just not relevant material for them. Some things that I've seen in like CPG that does really well is the reorder flows, how quick people reorder. You have all that data, utilize that data, be like, oh yeah, we see we are almost out of your sunscreen or whatever. Send them that email within that time frame of what you typically see in the data or that cohort, and you'll have results that are personalized more to the customer and not just a random email send.
I think that's a great tip. And as a consumer, I always tend to convert best when I get an email about like my sunscreen running out and I need to purchase it before I actually do run out. Karina, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Yes, and that literally just happened to me right before this webinar too. I bought a couple things because I was running out of something. I'm like, you know what? Let's restock up. But I think there's clearly so many different ways that we're collecting all of this important data that we can leverage, but it's about how we are leveraging it. So segmenting intelligently, so important. And there's still so many different ways to do it, but creating cohorts based on maybe buying frequency, product interest, or lifetime value, I think is really important. Triggering behavior-based workflows. So for example, like for myself, follow up a skincare purchase, that lip stain I just bought, with maybe some product usage tips or restock reminders or another complementary product recommendation, like the lip gloss that looks really good over it because it's just going to make my lips shine. And then incorporating support data, obviously, as working at a customer support platform, I think this is huge and so important. But if a customer had maybe a delivery issue, maybe personalize the next outreach with proactive updates, a goodwill offer, whatever that might be. But when you're also able to centralize all of this data into one platform like customer, you can really leverage it. And then your agents and automation flows from there just have the full customer context to personalize meaningfully, which is really great.
Thank you, Karina. Summer, what about you?
Yeah. So I mean, we know a lot of our customers are facing signal loss right now through a lot of, deprecation of cookies and privacy updates and all the new iOS and all that stuff. And so with that, this is becoming increasingly more important to be able to identify customers and build those unified profiles. And so the way that Attentive does it different is instead of tying to the email, because people have like lots of emails and it's not always the most up to date, Attentive can capture mobile first identity through phone numbers with advanced server-side tags and build these profiles that helps combat that signal loss. And then from there, we can use real-time behavior like product views, purchases, and engagements that trigger really personalized post-purchase journeys. So for example, I don't know if we have any toddler moms out here or dads, but I love Little Sleepies pajamas. They're a customer of ours. I'm a mommy, if anyone watches Love Island. But it's they use our identity solution from AI Pro to boost campaign performance. So I always get texts from them that there's a new print drop, which like basically like, I mean, the people go nuts over their like limited edition prints. And they send that to the highest value subscribers and really personalize it to the types of prints that I like. And they see up to 30% lift in incremental revenue because of that.
Love the Love Island mention.
Had to throw it in there.
Lexi, what are your thoughts here?
Also love that Love Island reference. Yeah, this is really about the quality of the data. I think everyone has been saying that you're collecting through the tech stack that you have in your systems. And then not only like how you choose to use it, but just like really getting to know your customers and then like leveraging that information. So creating those like personalized, seamless experiences, like everyone has said after that first interaction. I think actually, Summer, you alluded to this in our previous question, but getting that detailed data has actually been historically like a lot harder than it should be for so many brands. And so I think it really starts with like your technology partners. I know with our technology, we shoot back like incredibly detailed information to our brands about not just what someone purchased and who they are. You can like map out what similar product preferences they might have. You can leverage if they've got one or multiple subscriptions with you, and then like using that data, you can then personalize everything from their regular subscriber communications with integrations with Attentive and Klaviyo to what they see in their subscription manager, which like daily in and out, they're just going in there to get a task done. And you should just continue to add just frictionless experiences, make it easier for them to want to spend more when they're already going in and doing a task that's part of their like day to day. So bottom line, you just really need to get to know your customers based on their decisions and their preferences, and then meet them proactively. I think Ray had mentioned that as well, with the right offers and options to create that completely effortless and just really flexible customer experience.
Absolutely. And echoing off of what everyone has said, the key is to really start with quality data. That's why at Okendo, we so strongly champion gathering rich demographic insights through customer attributes or through surveys and personal preferences from review requests, quizzes, even, based on your loyalty program. And then utilize this data from customers to then craft compelling personalized messages. Personalization is key. And while you are collecting that data, you should be offering rewards for that information, such as coupons, discount codes, loyalty points for participating in the touch points, like leaving a review, taking a quiz. In addition to relationship building activities with referrals and loyalty rewards, brands can effectively incentivize and drive additional sales. So you can drive that repeat purchase by offering that reward for the information, and boost customer lifetime value and retention. All right, so what makes a loyalty or a referral program actually effective in driving a second or even a third purchase? I'll go ahead and start us off. For loyalty programs focused on driving the second or third purchase, it's really critical to offer plenty of attainable earning actions. So make sure you're offering a diversity in ways in which your customers can earn rewards with you, and a ton of flexibility as well in redeeming those rewards. Ideally, a customer should be able to place an order at roughly 1x AOV and then engage in a few other activities, such as leaving a review or engaging with your social media, to unlock at least the lowest level value reward. In addition, brands must offer perks such as double points days or exclusive or early access to sales or new drops, exclusive experiences to make members feel really valued and to make them feel like joining and engaging with the program is worth their time, because at the end of the day, time is money. And so you want to make sure that they're getting the most value. For referrals, while the recipient's reward should be fairly generous, we usually recommend that to be on par with the most generous welcome offer that your brand provides. The referral sender should also be given a reward for that referral. So, of course, again, like you want to make it worth their time. So by generating those referrals, you want to give both the referral recipient and the referral sender a nice reward. Naturally, if someone is referring their friends to a brand, it means they like your brand. So receiving a referral reward is usually enough to help drive a repeat purchase from them, get them back to your site and use that reward. Karina, I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you. And all really great points. I'm such a huge fan of loyalty and referral programs. I'm also like a VIB Sephora member, and I think they do such a great job of showcasing like what a really great program looks like. But there's so many other things that we can do as other brands to have a very effective program. You touched on a lot of this, Adina, but like reward early and often. Don't wait till the fifth purchase. Celebrate the second purchase and really encourage that behavior. And I think this can be even as little as like a note, a handwritten note going in their next package, or a sticker. Like I freak out about even I can't remember what they're called, car refreshments, or when you hang them in your car. You guys know what I'm talking about. It can be super small, but really, really great rewards that make you feel super special. And then offering value beyond discounts. I love discounts for sure, but I think also getting access to new drops or VIP support, exclusive content, that makes you feel super special, especially me as a shopper to a specific brand. And then integrating with CX. Support agents should definitely have this information on your loyalty or referral status. They can reference that tier whenever you reach out, or the referral progress in any of their conversations when you're talking with support, and just really make that customer feel super special. I think we all want to feel like we are part of a relationship when we're shopping with brands instead of just a transaction. And I know the brands that I shop with, I am super loyal to them. I'm constantly referring them to all of my friends. And this can go from beauty and skincare to apparel to even my mattress and my pillows. Like we love referring.
Thanks, Karina. Summer. What are your
Sure,
thoughts?
yeah. I mean, a lot of people already alluded to this, but it's more than discounts. We know that, VIPs want exclusive drops and like milestones and knowing kind of when the next tier is. Like, Karina was saying too about just like it can start early of like, hey, you only have one more purchase to get to the next tier. And so I think it's really important that the type of content that you're sending is diversified with, these non-discounted incentives. But also like when you're sending it and which channel makes a big difference. And so, we have customers who work with us on multiple channels that really orchestrate whether it should be an email or a text or a push notification. And we use our AI and our identity and our personalization in order to send the right message on the right time and the right channel that we think they're going to be more interested at that, time of day.
Thank you, Lexi.
I love all of these. I feel like I'm like taking notes, but yeah, all of this like amazing, like these tactics that you can use for loyalty programs. Fortunately, subscriptions really just put those second and third purchases on autopilot. So it's actually a really good tactic to marry the two programs, subscriptions and loyalty, to feed into each other. So subscribers don't feel like they have to choose, loyalty members don't feel like they have to choose between the benefits. And brands can really do that by really just rewarding loyalty benefits to customers for taking any subscription related action. So signing up for a subscription, letting them redeem loyalty points on upcoming subscription orders automatically, which also, by the way, takes friction out of the redemption process. So really helps you take advantage of those loyalty programs. That just encourages them to stay subscribed for future repeat purchases and helps them realize the benefits of both programs, helps you see more retention from them. And one of our customers, GNC, is a great example. They give additional cashback redemption rewards for loyalty members who subscribe to some of their products. So that's a phenomenal customer experience. It's really powerful, makes you stand out from the competition and drive those repeat purchases because you're really just rewarding customers from both sides, loyalty and subscriptions, and seeing the benefits from retention. And it's just super easy for them because they don't have to remember to keep coming back. It's on autopilot, and then they're continuing to redeem those loyalty benefits automatically as well.
Yeah, that's a great tip, offering loyalty points for repeat subscription orders. Cool. What are the most effective ways brands can re-engage customers post-purchase? And how do you decide which channels or tactics to use? Karina, we'll go ahead and kickstart with you.
Another great question. So email is obviously always going to be a great channel for this, especially when it's personalized, product specific guides or reorder prompts, etc. But SMS also very powerful for immediacy and urgency, and the personalization you can do within SMS can be so rewarding here and timely if used effectively. And then, of course, from the support side of things, live chat and in-app messaging, that converts really well for upsells, especially when it's driven by intelligent triggers. And I think when you're looking at which one you should decide to use, you can use those behavioral signals. So email opens, maybe chat interactions, what channels they're using the most. I'm very active on SMS, so that's a great channel to interact with me. Same with in-app and in the chat. And then considering the product life cycle, all of that good stuff, and then using support interactions to tailor the tone and urgency. Customers really helpful here because our omni-channel capabilities let brands really orchestrate these different channels cohesively, which is great.
Thanks, Karina. Summer.
Yeah, so I mean, I talked about it a little bit in the last one, but orchestrating cross channels is really the most effective way to meet customers where they are. And using predictive AI to determine like which are those customers is really important, and like re-engage before the churn risk actually happens. So you can test different messaging types around like product recommendations, back in stock, loyalty milestones, like personalized offers, and then understand which channel they're most likely to convert on, but having a really cohesive combined strategy. So for example, Marley Lily is a customer of ours that unified SMS and email with Attentive. And so they used our audiences AI, which is part of our AI Pro, and propensity to buy to kind of figure out who are the right audiences to send, and saw a huge 32% lift in revenue. And then another customer, Pure Sport, they used our send time AI, figuring out what the right time to send these re-engagement campaigns were, and saw up to 77x ROI, which is kind of crazy, but just from sending the right message at the right time.
That's huge. 77x ROI is massive. Lexi.
That's amazing, Summer. It's awesome to hear. Yeah, one of the best parts of subscriptions, I feel like I'm a broken record at this point, is that your next customer engagement is automatically built in. So customers are already in a subscription. They're going to be engaged with you. They're going to hear from you, obviously. So at that point, it's all about making that experience as frictionless, seamless as possible to stay engaged and to stay happy. If you're looking to elevate that experience even further, there are ways to make every engagement productive for your customer in every channel you meet them. So you can do that through personalizing your site for subscribers with product relevant offers. And we make that really easy because you can actually add items with Order Groove to like your next order, and you don't even have to like do the checkout process again. Again, just removing all that friction from the customer experience and checkout journey, and suggest easy order management options or product add-ons through regular subscription subscriber communications. And we make it easier with things like one-click actions that require like no login. It's super secure. It's really easy. So it's almost like subscribers initiate these engagements themselves when they're just like navigating their day-to-day life and their subscription management. And that should feel completely effortless and like part of their daily routine. Like I said earlier, you're not adding friction to their day, you're taking stuff off their plate, and at the same time, opening those new channels and opportunities to re-engage and encourage further spending.
Thank you, Lexi. On our side, we know post-purchase engagement can be difficult without explicit marketing consent. So providing multiple touch points and incentives like a sign up, unit or quizzes or surveys throughout the shopping journey can really encourage opt-in. Owned marketing channels like attentive email and SMS, and your app specifically are the lowest cost and highest engagement channels. So leverage those to send well-designed, personalized messages, all that use zero and first-party data collection along the way. Start engaging them right away, your customers, even on the post-purchase thank you page. I would definitely recommend setting up something like an attribution survey or NPS or CSAT, which is great for customer support and customer service as well. And use meaningful follow-up other than just pushing for another sale. So, use our ESP integrations to automate review requests, or send post-purchase surveys and loyalty reminders, just as a couple of examples. Next question. So what strategies are working best to build long-term relationships with customers? And how can brands encourage recurring revenue without relying solely on discounts? This one's an interesting one because I do love a discount. Summer, we'll kickstart with you.
Sure, yeah. So I mean, of course, like, lifestyle content and product education and things like that are really, our way to kind of surprise and delight the customer beyond discounts. There's a new channel. I'm not sure how many people have heard about RCS, but it's a new type of messaging that allows you to send video content through SMS or through texting, as well as more like interactive messages as well. And so that's like a great way to be able to build those relationships with care. We have customers like CB2, and they can do like care tips for your new furniture or things like that. And that builds loyalty through just like timely and relevant, like useful. It's like, oh, you've had this product a week, like let me show you a video of how to use it properly, for example. And then doing behavioral driven journeys that adapt based on engagement over time. So if somebody's engaging with you more, you kind of like building out on that journey, and it should really be tailored to the person.
Thanks, Summer. Lexi.
Yeah, so honestly, I think like the big problem here isn't necessarily like the discounts themselves. I think it's really more about the like profit margin and profitability eating into like your growth as a brand. And subscriptions at their core is being able to offer discounts without eating at those margins harmfully, because the ROI is incredible. Subscription discounts aren't just like a one-time purchase that, you kind of throw it out the door and it hurts your unit economics and it eats your margin. It's really an investment into better customer lifetime value and retention that has been shown to like 2.5 times LTV elevate your business profitability really by lining up those next orders. So by opting into a subscription, you're already set up for a second order. But if you want to elevate that even further, I love what you said, Summer, about really focusing on those like educational, experiential, like kind of softer, like squishier areas of like the customer journey. And besides just like discounts and money, there are other ways to incentivize those repeat purchase cycles. besides just those flat discounts, like access to subscription VIP memberships, gift with purchase is a really popular one, rotating clubs, which is like surprise and delight. And it's just like really fun as an end consumer. I love those like business models and threshold incentives. All of these like different, very advanced, like flexible subscription models will naturally drive that long-term subscriber retention due to their actual like they're happy, they're excited, they're delighted for like what's coming next. And you don't have to sacrifice necessarily like margin for that. Customers are just going to organically keep coming back for more while you're set up for that sustainable growth.
We're huge fans of surprise and delight here at Okendo. So I love that you mentioned
Mhm.
that. Ray, what's your thoughts?
Let me unmute myself real quick. Just really quickly, my thoughts here are, being very educational, offering some sort of value to the customers post-purchase is extremely important. For example, I used to be the head of ecom and retention at 10,000. It's a men's athletic apparel brand, and I was a customer beforehand. And I had these pair of shorts, and I had no idea they had like this small side pocket until like I until like someone on the product team told me, right? That's added value. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like I had no idea because it was kind of hidden and I just like the look of the shorts. So these things that add like these little tips, these little tutorials, style guides, etc., they add so much value to a customer where they're always gonna keep on, you know, being engaged with your email. They're gonna look for more tips, more tricks. So I think that's super valuable. Also, like having these VIP experiences are great, right? I'm going to use 10,000 again as an example. We used to throw events for our loyal customers, and when they come together, they just feed off each other, right? They're champions talking to champions, and that just multiplies like champion squared. So effectively, like you have like these brand champions, and they'll naturally become referrals, and they'll naturally grow your business.
Definitely. VIP experiences through VIP tiers or special incentives are a great way to unlock a bit more of that customer lifetime value. Karina, what about you?
Yeah, thank you, Adina. And Ray, that's such a good point too, of like connecting like-minded individuals together. I think we all love that. Like myself from, partnerships leader perspective and, CX leaders and ecom leaders, you want to get together and share ideas. And I think that just stands out a lot. But a couple things like obviously we're going to do all the same things you want to do in your own personal life to build and maintain all of these long-term relationships. It takes a lot of data, a lot of effort, information, and just staying top of mind in general. Lexi, you mentioned this, and I love that you can do this with Order Groove too. But like, if you have subscriptions, introduce those subscriptions with flexibility, allowing, someone to easily swap or skip or cancel. Like, things are happening in life every single day. We are humans. And having that flexibility and the understanding from a human to human perspective is really just going to keep that loyalty there. Celebrating those milestones, maybe you have been shopping with us for 6 months. Here's something special. We noticed this about you, and we just want to show how much we care. And then using CX as a differentiator. I am a huge believer in just such a positive support experience and post-purchase experience will keep me coming back. And I think not only having that great positive experience, but also very proactive experience will help. And I think this is in general with business and in our personal life as well. So thinking relationships instead of just transactions.
Definitely. I think in our world, it's all about building value-driven loyalty programs. Brands want to be able to provide something unique, something that is on brand for them. And so, rewarding customers for what matters most to that brand is important. First and foremost, you need to reward your customers when they spend money with you, but you should also offer them early access to sales or maybe new drops, birthday rewards. I think Ray, you mentioned anniversary, or someone mentioned anniversary, but offering those VIP experiences are going to be crucial to having someone actually engage with your program. We definitely want to use like purchase, review, quizzes, and survey data to identify high value segments, and use that information to reach out to them with, of course, special offers, but also include them in opportunities to shape your product roadmap, or even, give you product feedback or beta test new products, or, maybe give them access to come to your new store as a first customer. So there's a lot you can do there. How should brands be thinking about automating their retention efforts without losing the human touch? Karina, start with you.
Thank you. So we can automate so much, obviously, but we know it works best when it feels contextual and empathetic. I'm a big believer in all of that. So I think some best practices would be personalizing with purpose. Obviously, we're going to use our names and order info and like any previous issues just to make consumers feel like a human. And then another thing, automate the mundane, not the meaningful. So order updates, cool, that's automated. Apology for a service fail, maybe we bring a human into that to, or at least human reviewed to make it feel a little bit more empathetic. And then blending live and automated support, I think, is a huge, huge aspect. Customers' workflows can trigger human follow-up when confidence scores are low or sentiment is negative. So you can do a lot of both, save time, but then make sure that you're making, incorporating the human touch and the feel when it's necessary.
Absolutely. Summer.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, doing automated AI journeys are, table stakes right now, that being able to like have an agent just like do your journeys, but there's ways to make it still feel more personal. And one is kind of a two-way interaction. And so in SMS, you can do like, hey, reply 1 or 2 or 3, and like kind of like ask them questions, and then like really provide responses in that in an automated way. And now with RCS, it's becoming easier to do that because there's actually something called suggested reply. So you'll have these little pop-up bubbles that they can just click one, and it'll automatically then send the right next message in that journey. So that's really cool because it does feel a lot more personal and human than just kind of shooting a text out. And then just making sure the voice and the timing and the content is like channel aware and like, doesn't feel as automated. So of course, a lot of our customers like to use emojis or things that make it feel a little bit more personal. And then A/B testing on what like resonates with each segment as well. Kendra Scott, great Austin brand. They did, instead of Black Friday, did Yellow Friday, where they did a 2 a.m. SMS gift guide experience that kind of felt like an in-store styling session. It was fully automated. And they saw during BFCM that their campaigns delivered a 48x ROI on gifting recommendations and 55% click-through rate. So just huge, well above benchmarks, just by kind of having that two-way interaction.
That's awesome. I've actually never heard of Yellow Friday before.
Yeah, I mean, they're all about the yellow, so they went Yellow Friday instead of Black Friday.
Oh, okay, yes, that
Yeah.
makes a strong brand.
Mhm.
Lexi.
Yeah, I love Kendra Scott. It's a great Austin brand. Yeah, I love what Karina you just said about using discernment. I think very intentional discernment about when you are interacting with customers, choose to meet them with that empathy. And then like behind the scenes actually is where I think is the most opportunity to invest with AI powered tools. Like great ROI that we've seen recently is automation with like AI powered payment recovery. One customer that I worked with, Stonewall Kitchen, used our AI-powered involuntary churn suite to recover things like 31% more programmatic recurring revenue than before with just like one flip of a switch. And that's without sacrificing any customer engagement because that's all like behind the scenes, just making it easier to like process those payments and increase order placement. And when customers are interacting with your brand, Summer, I love what you said about kind of giving the agency of the customer, letting them interact, making it like a bi-directional two-way conversation, giving them self-service opportunities. So with Order Groove, we have lots of self-serve, like intuitive subscription management tools. We have a bunch of different options as well for like incentives. So like subscribers can build their own bundles. They can select what they want, what they don't want. They have really flexible options to skip, swap, delay orders. We prompt them with that in transactional communications as well. The key there is just like giving the agency back to the consumer in those like empathetic interactions, making every one of those experiences feel super effortless and really personalized. and still like they're in full control, but then having that all operate at scale. So it's like all set it and forget it for you. And we also have that A/B testing to be able to optimize, like, let's see which incentive structure is more profitable for you. And we really use LTV again throughout the whole experience as like our North Star of like, is it working? Is it getting customers to stay with us longer, to build your brand more profit? So yeah, we just really optimize using that data as well, just to be able to operate at scale.
Lexi, right.
Yeah, so from my end, when you're talking about like automations and stuff, never send them random things. I think that's like my biggest issue with email marketing specifically or text messages, right? If I keep using 10,000 example, if we have a runner and they never viewed a swimming short ever in their life, and they never clicked on a swimming short email or text or visited the page, don't send them a swimming short, right? We see that problem with a lot of brands with 1,000 SKUs plus, right? It's hard to send them the right things. And yeah, just don't send them the random things. A lot of times I've seen work really well is these AI tools that Lexi mentioned too. A lot of AI product recommendations, but even so, when you're looking at these product recommendation emails, they're kind of like bland, they're kind of rudimentary. Like even if you look at like big brands like Saks, they'll send you a bunch of random products, but tailored to like what you've seen. But why don't you go an extra step and take those products and build beautiful emails tailored to each product? And I guarantee you'll have a better click rate, a better conversion rate on those emails.
For sure. Thanks, Ray. Yeah, kind of echoing everything. Automation does not necessarily mean interactions have to feel less authentic or, you know, robotic in a way. You can leverage zero party, first party data, and use that for, more personalization, deeper insight into the customer and the product that you're recommending. And automation can even lead to better CX, as we know. So automatically creating a customer service ticket, for example, for customers with negative feedback can open the door to brands providing a much more positive experience and creating more of a brand champion in the process. Whereas that customer may have had a negative experience with you to begin with, but now you're closing the loop and they feel they can have more trust in your brand. We're on to the last question here. What's one retention strategy you think more brands should be testing right now, but aren't? And Lexi, we'll start off with you.
Well, obviously, I'm a little biased. I'm going to go straight for subscriptions. If you're not doing subscriptions, you need to. It's like the best ROI for your LTV. But for brands that are already familiar with like the basic subscription model, I would really love to see y'all go beyond just the flat rate discount and that like rigidity and just like lack of personalization, like Ray was saying, if it's not relevant for them, take it into a lifelong customer relationship, but that flexible, super seamless benefits experience. Most brands aren't even testing out different subscription models. Like that rotating club box that we mentioned before, bundling, prepaid subscriptions, in-store signups, or any of the like threshold, like spend margins or end order incentives that make it just super seamless and delightful to start and to stay subscribed with you and to spend more with each order. And what makes subscriptions really special is that built-in retention, right? You have repeat purchases queued up, and with the right flexible technology, you can personalize them for a subscriber's particular needs, personal and financial goals, preferences, like life situations. That is just bottom line what is going to drive scalable and profitable retention and growth for your brand.
Thank you. Right.
Yeah, for me, this is obviously like the lowest hanging fruit. Like every brand that starts off from a seed company, like they hire someone that's acquisition, then retention, and then ecom, right? So for me, ecom is kind of like a little bit more afterthoughty, right? You're not going to really think this is a retention tactic specifically, but site speed, your experience is so important. And sometimes it's pretty much an afterthought, right? Site speed is overall customer experience. You build that trust, you can storytell better with better imagery, loading faster. You ever go to a restaurant for the first time and the service is extremely slow, and you're just like, you're an acquired customer at that instance, and you're just complaining about how slow the service is, the food is taking too long, and quite honestly, there's a 50% chance, maybe a 70% chance that you'll never come back. So if you have fast service, good food, you got a long time, lifetime customers if you really believe in that restaurant or that product, right?
Thanks, Ray. Karina.
That's such a good point, Ray, too, because first impressions, they're everything. They're everything. Obviously, I will be biased here as well. I think proactive service nudges are things that we can actually start testing out a little bit more. I think a lot of times brands are waiting for the customer to complain and reach out. Instead, use some signals, delayed shipping, product confusion, maybe long time since their last purchase, to proactively check in on your consumer. And it's also worth testing out the different surprise and delight micro gifting we love, some of those post-purchase education journeys, especially for those high consideration products, and then video of customer loops. Ask for feedback often and act on it visibly. I think you're going to get a lot of really great feedback, especially from your consumers that are repeat buyers.
Thanks, Karina. Summer. Oh, are we
Sorry,
frozen?
I think I froze for a second. Was that for me?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
for you. Yeah.
I was like, I thought it got quiet. So one of the retention strategies, I mean, this really impacts the whole lifestyle, but a lot of people don't really know they have a deliverability problem. And it's often, you really need to understand like the root cause of like email issues to determine the right fix. And this impacts, I mean, not just retention, but really across the lifestyle, but it's understanding that root cause and like, understanding like if a new recipient signs up and doesn't purchase or open, like how long is that going to take till it hurts deliverability and versus like actually having a chance of engagement or conversion. You can look at average days to first purchase, second purchase, opt out, etc. So really like diagnosing and understanding your email issues, like is it fatigue, is it a deliverability issue, can help you to be continuing to engage with them and impact your retention.
Great tips. Thank you, guys. I think paid memberships is an interesting one because these really help unlock high value perks that generate a little bit more of that stickiness factor, but may not necessarily be economically feasible for free loyalty tiers. So that's something to think about. Great. Well, that concludes the question portion of today's webinar. We did get a couple of questions coming in through Q&A, so we can answer those live since we have some time. Roy Ong, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Your first question was, do you find certain channels get more friction than others for a certain demographic? What about shopping location base? Who wants to take this question?
I'm happy to start off. I love that question. I feel like it comes up a lot too, but I think that there is definitely more friction for certain demographics or location bases. And I think what's cool too about customer is we're omni-channel. So I can see who's interacting with me from email, SMS, voice, live chat, everything, and then make sure you're consistently interacting within those channels. Summer, you'll probably speak to this as well. I also used to work at Attentive. There's a lot of A/B testing that you can do to make sure that if someone maybe isn't the right SMS candidate, you can still message them on email and then send them other SMS messages just to see where they're performing and interacting with your brand the most.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't realize you worked for Attentive. Have fun. Yeah, so I mean, for us, like, of course, like, demographic is part of it from a targeting standpoint, but it's a lot more behavioral and like really on it, our AI is trained on quadrillions of data points and features that ultimately are determining based on like how you've interacted with the brand and the website, and that is really more predictive of kind of their likeliness to convert and how valuable of a customer they are than necessarily like location and things of that nature. So we kind of target, I mean, everything's kind of incorporated in all the things that we know about a customer from our identity solution, but yeah, I definitely is part of the factor.
Cool. We'll go ahead to Roy's next question. Are there channel reports that relate to types to customer groups, shopping location, brick and mortar versus e-com?
I can touch on this as well. Customers platform, and we're customer with a K right here. You're able to customize all of your different reports however you see fit. So if that's something that you're really looking to focus on specifically, you can build out reports for that. So you can see, okay, where are my customers shopping the most, and are they interacting or reaching out to support with more of this engagement? Customer is a help desk and a customer support platform, but we're a CRM at our core. So we really house all of that data and pull it in from all of these different channels that you're using and leveraging on a daily basis. So yeah, there's definitely opportunity to really segment and get super granular on those specific channel reports.
Yeah, and I'll jump in here in terms of like subscription interactions. And like, I think we think a lot about where did someone sign up and then where are they taking specific actions, like canceling a subscription pessimistically, but then more optimistically managing their subscription. And we have great data sources that will basically tell you from anywhere in the customer journey, where did they first start interacting with you? Where did they start their subscription with you? And then from there on, where are they interacting and engaging and managing their subscriptions? And that's super helpful for brands because it really does give them a heads up of like, hey, tailwinds, you need to optimize this area of your journey. Hey, this is great. You're seeing better retention because you implemented like our new cancel flows feature, and like you're seeing a lot of saves from that cancellation flow. And so being able to track where people are interacting, if they're calling in through their CSA, and then you get to reduce your overhead costs there too. So we do give opportunities with like all of that data sourcing to be able to see and optimize and dig into where your problems are and where there are more areas of opportunity.
And I'll jump in as well. Likewise, with Okendo, you can be collecting that information across the user journey, whether it's after they've purchased in a post-purchase survey, if it's like, where did you hear about us? Is it email? Is it Facebook? Is it through a friend? So understanding where your customers are coming from as far as like marketing channel, and then also being able to collect information around your customer via a quiz or a review. So that could be like age, skin type, skin tone, size normally purchased, anything that you can then use to make better decisions for your customers, but also retarget them across your marketing channels. All right. I think there's one other question here in the chat that we can quickly get to. Ali Nabi says, if I have multiple markets, let's say US, Mexico, Canada, UK, and India, can I see subscription reports and charts for all these markets in one platform?
I have a feeling that question is for me. And yes, you can. So we have a ton of different brands and retailers that operate in multiple different markets. And our analytics are super flexible. You can port files and reports in via like your SFTP. It's safe file transfer protocol is what it's called. And basically that is like a very secure way to handle it internally. We also have a native analytics dashboard and exports that you can get on demand as a business user if you're not like a developer. And all of that gives you a bird's eye view really into being able to manage your different markets and understand where your revenue is coming from and what it looks like in recurring revenue streams in every different market that you operate in. So when I was on the CS side, I had multiple customers that had like international reach, and it was a lot like easier for them once they came on board with us to be able to understand like where they can optimize in different markets and like what consumer behavior looks like. And with subscriptions in particular, it's really interesting from like a educational perspective that the market in the US is a lot warmer, I think, to subscriptions than like internationally. I think it's still kind of a newer concept in some different foreign markets, but it's starting to pick up a lot of traction really quickly as well. We've seen lots of traction in the UK. So being able to have that cross channel and that cross like country visibility is key for all of our huge enterprise brands that we work with for sure.
Thanks, Lexi. And let's see, I think something just came in through the chat. Great. We have time for one last question, which is perfect because we only have one other question here. Do any of your tools support live chat for a Shopify store with AI-powered product recommendations that also integrates with HubSpot to record user interactions? HubSpot does not currently have a robust product recommendation feature. I will defer since we don't integrate with HubSpot. Does anyone else have any thoughts here?
Yeah, I was going to add in customer support platform is customer with the K support platform. I know it gets so confusing sometimes when I say that, is platform agnostic. So we do integrate into all different types of platforms. We do have our live chat support even all the way through to the Shopify checkout page, which it was recently released earlier this year. When it comes to the AI powered recommendations, that's where I would like recommend a tool like Rebuy or some others that you can easily integrate within all of our solutions on this webinar today. And there's just a lot of different things that you can customize and build out within even customers' own support platform to make it, obviously a very robust recommendation feature, but I can definitely follow up with further details if that's necessary.
We have a robust integration with Shopify. So it's well, it's not like a live chat. I mean, we do have we can, take into account all of the purchase data and help that to provide product recommendations via SMS and email and other channels as well.
Yeah, kind of the same as Summer, where it's not a live chat, but we have our integrations with Attentive, Klaviyo. We also have we're completely platform agnostic in terms of e-commerce environment, as well as using webhooks APIs you can set up with any ESP or SMS provider. And we have unique API as well as native one-click actions that are actually the only one-click actions on the market that do not require an additional OTP. So it is secure and safe. It just has that one token that you can use. And it basically means that customers can add product recommendations that are personalized by you, the merchant, the brand, to whatever their unique needs are. So super easy, really frictionless, really drives AOV and retention as well.
Thanks, Lexi. And last thing I'll say is you can leverage Okendo to build a quiz, of course, which generates those product recommendations. We also have a generative AI feature to help you build that quiz. So if you wanted to recommend certain products, our AI feature will help you build questions around it. And we work with Shopify brands. So of course, that is our bread and butter. All right, well, that wraps it up for today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of the panelists. Definitely add us on LinkedIn. We love to connect there. And thank you guys so much for joining. That concludes our webinar for today. I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of our amazing speakers for sharing their insights. And thank you to everyone that joined. We'll be sending out the recording in the next day or so. So if you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or any of the other speakers. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. And I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.